Our next assignment, today or tomorrow or this week, you visit a palengke, huh? So you can understand. But if you don't have the nerve to enter a palengke, you open your laptop and then YouTube, and you type coconut milk production in the Philippines. Then there you'll find out how people in the Philippines produce coconut milk, otherwise called gata. But now, thanks to ABCDF, we will elevate it to gatas. You view it in YouTube. It's there. While viewing it on YouTube, you don't smell the foul smell inside the palengke. No, but you view the dirt in the surrounding. It will still make your skin, they call it nakakarimarim. Have you been to the palengke? When was the last time? Mata ko. Ito ang tunay na ABCDF member. Okay? Now, in all palengkes in Metro Manila, did you know that every morning, about 300,000 lots, right, are delivered in the whole Metro Manila, 300,000 lots. And they produce every day gata. 300,000 lots, 5% of that is how much? That's about 60,000 liters of gata. Gatas. Every day. How can 60,000 liters of gata be, where does it go every day? Well, you imagine, it is bought by households, and they cook their meal with gata or gatas. They don't use evaporated canned milk. Gata, mas masarap kaysa evaporated milk. Okay? 60,000 liters. But you don't know, a big chunk of this, no? My estimate is 20% is both used by restaurants, including the big hotels and big restaurants. Now, why do these guys access their milk from the palengke? Because there is no other source of gata or gatas except palengke in the Philippines. You cannot get it from the supermarket. Ang nakikita mo ng mga can, no, na evaporated, condensed, all that. Only in the palengke can you find gata. And the estimate is in the whole of Metro Manila, we produce from 300,000 lots, 60,000 liters. That's about 60 tons every day. And 1/4 of that, 1/5 of that is used by the big restaurants and hotels. Marumi, why do they use it? Well, they have a comfort. Iniinit naman namin eh. Linuluto naman namin. Kaya napapasteurize. Malinis. But if there is a source of clean gatas, pasteurized, these big guys will buy it from these enterprises. Now, do you get it, Sir Ernie? Yes. Come on, let's put up a gataan, hindi sa palengke, but in a place, dito, the opposite the opposite of palengke or gataan, and we call it a neighborhood coconut station. Well, if the missionary will allow it, we'll put it here in the States. Okay? Did you know that this pair of toy-like gadgets, you can process 1,000 nuts a day. How do we do it? Well, you have the nuts, hatiin mo. You can view it on YouTube. You have the grated coconut. And then yung grated coconut, this is a presser. No? Merong jack doon sa likod. Stainless yan, malinis. Okay. Yung grated coconut, ilalagay dito in a net. Press. And the milk will flow out. This pair of toys, in quotation, can process 1,000 nuts a day. And this just cost 55,000. I bought this for 25,000 pesos, and this 30,000 from a machine shop. Now, if you visit the public markets, there are other models, bigger. Yung big equipment sana dadalhin ko rito eh. No? Kaya lang, hindi makaabot. Ang bigat eh. Kaya I just brought this, para madaling makita nyo. Is this your first time? Yeah. 1,000 nuts a day. How much milk can come out from this, from 1,000 nuts? 200 liters of milk. Every day, kung 2 ships, 2,000 nuts. And we can operate this in a small room.
Like this room.
Huh?
Like this room.
Like this room. At naka-tiles. Sa palengke, ang dumi-dumi. Naka-aircon. Tapos yung staff natin, sa palengke kasi nakahubad eh. Pawis, no? Gulo-gulo ng ano. Doon sa atin, merong mask. Merong hair net. Merong gloves. Merong white uniform. Malinis, parang Nestle center, yes sir.
The 1,000 nut is based on 8 hours only, or 124-hour.
8 hours.
8 hours.
You try this. You view the YouTube, no? I-timing mo. They open that, they will screw it. Tiniming ako. Within 1/2 minute, they finish the one nut.
Excuse me, sir, is there a way we can see po? Can you put it on top of the table? Kasya ba sa lamesa? We cannot see.
Mabigat eh.
Sino yung lamesa? Duro? Duro?
Kayo ka lang
You visit YouTube, better, actual. Punta kayo sa palengke. Okay, question. How much per liter? Here's your profit. Okay, 1,000 nuts. You buy it from Mr. Adel, he is a coconut farmer from Quezon. You buy it 10 pesos per kilo nut. But if you don't go direct from the farmer, you have a dealer, abangan mo lang sa palengke, no? Nagdi-discard ka sila, 15 pesos. Okay? Okay. 1,000 nuts times 15 pesos na lang. 15,000. Okay. We extract the milk. 200 kilos. 200 liters. Okay? Sa palengke, ang presyo niyan, 80 pesos per liter.
80.
80 pesos per liter. Nakalagay sa plastic, tapos binuhol kata. How much is that per liter?
16,000.
Ha?
80 pesos times 200 is 16,000.
16,000.
80 pesos times 200.
Okay, 16,000 minus 15,000, meron kang 1,000.
Yeah.
1,000 lang. May pa, mag-order ka na kay Karadel
Yes, then mataas.
para may 6,000 ka.
Right.
Okay?
Mataas yung pati.
Now, how much is that? 1,000 nuts in one day, just 6,000? Is it big or small? It's nothing. But then remember my talk last time? From the coconut milk, you have water.
Yeah, madami.
Coconut water. Oh. Yung 1,000 nuts, 35 liters of water. Sa palengke, tinatapon yan.
Yun.
Oh. Lulutuin natin sa kawan and we reduce it to 5%. 5% concentrate. We call it coco toyo. So 5% of 35 liters, that's about 17 liters. We bottle it and sell it for how much? In retail is 400 pesos per liter. How much is that? Because this is coconut soy. This is prime soy sauce. It's superior to Kikuman, no? How much, sir? 6,800.
Wait, 17 liters is 50%.
5% of 35.
1.7 liters.
Ay, sorry.
It's 7.5.
Sorry. 35 liters. Pakiano nga,
1.75.
1.7 liters
Okay.
times 400. That's how much?
What was
680.
Yes, 680. Yes.
So 680 plus your 6,000.
Yeah.
That's already
6,700.
6,700 something.
Yeah.
Okay? And then the sapal, the residue, that's 50 kilos. The residue, you roast it to make coconut tea or coconut coffee. 50 kilos. The sapal, okay? When roasted, it goes down because it's still wet. It goes down to about 30 kilos. And this is 200 pesos.
6,000.
Mas malaki pa. So, magkano na yung profit mo?
12,000.
Gross profit.
12,000.
6 plus 680 plus 6,000. 12,000 something. Okay? Almost the capital of 15,000. If you bought it from the dealer, if you bought it from Cadel, ano lang? 10 pesos lang per. There's your ROI. Sir, ito na yung return, no? From 1,000 nuts per day. No? Mali yung computation natin kanina. Sorry. From the gata, 80 pesos per liter, 16,000. From the water, 6,800. And from the residue, sapal, we have 6,000. Total of 28,800 gross per day. Now, 28,000 times 30 days for 1 month, 24 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 24 to 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's 840,000 gross per month.
For one shift.
One shift. Okay? 840,000 per month. Sabihin natin 50%. That takes care of the wage, utilities, rent, and everything. You have a net profit of about 400,000 per month. And in 1 year, that's foreign.
Have you considered the cost of the nuts? In your calculation for the margin, did you consider the cost of the nut, the buying price, selling price?
Yes, it's already deducted from this. One half of this. One half of this is the nuts. No, it's already deducted when we computed this one. Is it? Di ba? Okay. 1,000 nuts times 15 kung galing sa dealer ay beef trader.
About 50,000.
Well, Miss from UCPB is yung talaga eksakto, may depreciation plus. You take care of that. What I'm trying to say is, from these two toys, he can produce 1 million profits.
And can you go to this population? And one is a shredder, one is a presser, one is a presses and extracts.
This is Kayuran shredder. Now we call it coconut desiccator. And this one is jack. We call it hydraulic press.
Yes.
We elevate it to something more honorable and modern.
The one on the left is what? What is the one on the left? What is the one on the left?
This is a grater or desiccator.
Desiccator.
There is a motor here. I think switch off. Switch mo lang. Kurete. You can view it in the YouTube. Within a half minute, less than half minute, you finish grating one nut.
Okay, yes, David, what is your clarification?
The issues that we keep seeing emerge from the coconut has a lot of product potential, but the issue is that any one product is not normally enough to make it profitable. So you have to produce all the products that you can from one nut if you want to come back to a nut. And the issue there means that you've got to process in some form that's not industrial, at least semi-industrial in scale. I don't know how much Jun, have you visited Sri Lanka? Have you seen their operations in Sri Lanka where they produce the husk, which they process into tech fiber, the shell, and the husk then gets industrialized into a fiber board. They produce the shell, which they use for heating, and then most of these other products we're talking about. But it's all done as one village cooperative, and the product is sold from that one unit. And I suspect there's just no way, the more I look at this, there's just no way you can move without moving into that sort of model. I think it's beyond Palenque scale, and it's not necessarily having to be a large corporation, but it has to be bigger than, it has to be a large village if you want it for a better word. That's all I can say. But from my perspective, it's the other end of the scale as well. When we were doing stuff with Peter Paul in the fair trade model, I had farmers, 50, 60-year-old farmers, who had never seen anyone from the Philippine Coconut Authority in their whole life. That tells us something as well. First of all, forget about the PCA. It's just not worth even trying to work with it. But, you know, when we had devolution of agriculture, we lost one very key element, which was the agricultural extension component. Most of these people are now carrying umbrellas for mayors, and if you go to any provincial town and ask for agriculture office, you'll find it sitting out the other end of the loos at the back end of the compound, one small office, maybe occupied, maybe not. And it's just been totally decimated. And that doesn't just apply to coconuts, that applies across the board. We've lost the ability to run a farming, not just to run the farming system, but to educate farmers about farming systems. Now, it's been compensated to some extent by the private sector. I admit that's probably a logical way of going, but we have suffered for more than 20 years with this. From devolution on, we've seen this great attrition of skill at the farm level, and don't ignore that when you come to looking at this is the other end of the scale, and that's what we're happening.
Okay.
Now about Sri Lanka, you go to Sri Lanka and you have in the villages this. You go to India, they have this. You go to Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, they have this. It's a traditional equipment that we're not aware of. Most people here in Metro Manila, Makati, you are not aware that there is such a thing. You'll be amazed. You visit, that's not your assignment, you visit the palengke near your residence. So you'll find out. See? In the whole Philippines, 1 million liters, at least 1 million liters of gatas are produced by people there in the rural areas, including Metro Manila. And you're not aware of it. We consume gatas in cans, and cans, all imported. Come on, this is a challenge for MAP ABCDF. What is ABCDF for? It stands for Agribusiness and Countryside Development. Let's exploit this very big potential. In fact, it is one pathway towards the elimination of poverty, not reduction, no? Elimination of poverty and inequality in the Philippines, in our own country. Let's pay attention to this. Now, in ABCDF, there are two sections in ABCDF. Big guys, medium guys, and small. What is the big guys? These guys, you have, prime example, Franklin Baker. They are so proud. No, the CEO of Franklin Baker, he talked to me two Decembers ago, and he posted, Jun, did you know we can now process 1 billion nuts a year? And in 3 years' time, we're going to 2 billion nuts a year. They're so proud of this. And then you have Peter Paul and 15 other big guys. And they want to control the 15 billion nuts of the country. Now, there are these medium guys. Now, they just process 20,000 to 50,000 nuts a day. The big guys, 400 to 1 billion nuts a day. The medium guys, 20 to 50,000 nuts a day. Well, there is the other group. We call this the small guys, and I represent them, the coconut farmers. The coconut farmers, in their own processing, which we call village processing. By the way, village is not only in the farms, it can also be here in Makati or in Mandaluyong or anywhere near village, where we process 5,000 nuts a day. 5,000 nuts, we have a set of 3 to 5 of these, and we can come out with 5,000 nuts a day. That's called a neighborhood coconut station.
So your task is to put this in every barangay
Every barangay.
in the Philippines. Yes.
No, in one barangay out there,
Yeah.
there are at least 5 sitios. 5 sitios. One in each sitio. We are eyeing 10,000 village processing centers. 10,000. So wala na yung koprasan. There are 1 million koprasans all over the Philippines. We want to close those 1 million koprasans and replace it with 10,000 village processing. With this equipment and producing 5,000 nuts a day. Is that small? Well, you can laugh at it. It's small, but that is 1.5 million nuts a year for just one village processor. And if all farmers engage in this, the big guys, Franklin Baker, Peter Paul, and all those, they will have no more nuts, raw materials to run their plants. Bye-bye. Well, that's
They
the
will go nuts.
that's the view of the third group, the
Okay.
small group.
Okay. So how many of the villages have this now?
Pardon?
How many of our villages have this facility?
We have a Coconut University. We have been for the past 8 years. We have taught all of this. Mindanao, Visayas, Bicol, Luzon. My estimate is there are now just 100.
100.
Village process.
Only
100 only in the farms.
1,000.
But that excludes the processors here in Metro Manila. Okay?
And then
Because the other farmers that we taught, they have problems. They're still in Copra. They are divided in their thoughts, Copra. Because the local government, mayor, vice mayor, council, they are anti this. They are pro-Copra. They are anti the new industry. Well, the big guys, they are laughing at us. They call this low-tech. Well, we don't call it low-tech. We call it art. Art. Appropriate rural technology. You Google art, it's there. No? There is now an institution in India, based in India, and they advocate art. In other words, you cannot have a big plant in the villages. No, you cannot. But we can have this. And that is appropriate rural technology.
Okay, with that optimistic note, we have to close because it's 10 o'clock. 1 hour overtime. We will not have any meeting next week because this is election time. Yeah, after election. So our next meeting will be the week after. So please wait for the announcement on who the next interesting speaker will be. In the meantime, can we have a round of applause, please, for presentation, and there will be more to come in the future.
Let's vote, let's all vote, don't abstain. Let's vote for the right people like Castillo. Let's vote.
Okay.
If they want to abstain.
Thank you very much. Good morning. See you again.